The video opens with the camera zooming in on flashing paparazzi lights, chaos everywhere. Reporters shout questions as Dilraba Dilmurat steps out of a black car, holding hands with a man no one expected. The crowd gasps, and among them, a familiar face freezes. Yong Yang. No one could believe what just happened. Just months ago, Yong Yang and Dilraba were being called China's most beautiful on-screen couple. Fans swore their chemistry in You Are My Glory wasn't acting. Rumors of secret dates, matching bracelets, and late-night dinners had flooded the internet. Everyone thought something was real between them, until this night. The man beside Dilraba wasn't Yong Yang. He wasn't even Yong Yang's reaction to Dilraba's new love. Some fans claimed he forced a smile, even approached them to congratulate her. But others who were there said his voice trembled slightly when he said, "You look happy." That's all that matters. Behind the scenes, however, the story didn't end there. A close friend of Yong Yang's revealed that he'd known something was off for weeks. He'd noticed Dilraba becoming distant, their usual chats turning shorter. They used to talk almost every day, sometimes about work, sometimes about random late-night snacks. But then, her replies grew slower. She started avoiding public events they were both invited to. Still, Yong Yang never expected the distance to mean she'd found someone else. He thought she was just busy filming her next project. That's why the reveal hit so hard. It wasn't just about love, it was about trust. When the news broke online, fans were torn. Half celebrated Dilraba's new romance, saying she deserved happiness outside the pressure of fame. The other half flooded Yong Yang's posts with comments like "Stay strong" and "You're the real glory." But here's what made the moment unforgettable: Yong Yang didn't hide. He didn't unfollow her or delete photos. Instead, he posted a single, calm message on his social media later that night. Sometimes, we meet people who change our story. Even if we're not in the same chapter anymore, I'll always be grateful for the pages we shared. That one post silenced the internet. It wasn't bitter. It wasn't dramatic. It was heartbreak wrapped in grace, and that's exactly why people couldn't stop talking about it. Days later, Dilraba appeared in an interview. The host, clearly nervous, brought up the viral topic. She hesitated before answering, her voice soft but steady. "Yong Yang is one of the kindest people I've ever met. What we had was beautiful, even if it was never meant to last." She smiled, but her eyes betrayed a flicker of emotion, the kind you can't fake. Viewers caught it instantly. Clips of that moment went viral with captions like "She still cares." But what most people didn't know was what happened after the cameras stopped rolling. Sources from the studio said Yong Yang had quietly sent flowers to congratulate her on her new film release, White Lilies, her favorite. No note. No message. Just a quiet gesture. It wasn't long before fans noticed something curious. Dilraba had started liking old photos of her and Yong Yang together on fan pages. Nothing recent, nothing obvious, just subtle reminders of a bond that, perhaps, never completely faded. Then came the real twist. During a backstage interview months later, a reporter asked Yong Yang what he thought about love now. He laughed lightly before saying, "Love isn't about who stays the longest. It's about who teaches you the most." The audience fell silent. It was the first time he'd spoken openly since that night. His calmness, his honesty, it made everyone realize that sometimes, the most powerful reaction isn't anger or jealousy. It's peace. In the end, Yong Yang didn't lose, he grew. And Dilraba didn't move on, she moved forward. Fans still debate what truly fans who had followed Yong Yang and Dilraba's journey, that unspoken connection between them never really disappeared. It was like a quiet flame that refused to die, hidden, but still burning. Then, out of nowhere, a major entertainment company dropped a teaser poster for a new high-budget drama. The title read, "When Stars Collide." The cast list was under wraps, except for one name, Yong Yang. Fans were thrilled. flooding the comments with excitement. But the internet exploded again 2 days later when the full cast list was revealed. Dilraba Dilmurat, co-lead. The reactions were instant. Wait. Yong Yang and Dilraba? Again? After everything that happened? Are they really working together? The news spread like wildfire. Old clips of their romantic scenes resurfaced, fan edits flooded TikTok, and everyone started wondering how the two would face each other on set after everything that happened publicly. When filming began, reporters camped outside the studio for days. But no one could get a clear photo, the production was tightly guarded. The only thing the public knew came from one insider leak: their chemistry is still undeniable. On the first day of filming, Yong Yang arrived early. He walked quietly into the rehearsal room, script in hand, trying to keep his emotions in check. Moments later, the door opened, and Dilraba walked in. For a brief second, neither of them moved. The air between them felt charged, not with tension, but with memories. She smiled first. "It's been a while." He nodded, replying softly, "Yeah, it has." No one else in the room dared to speak. It was like everyone was holding their breath, watching two people who had once been written off as past come face to face again, this time as professionals.